loses this case, that it was sending the bird call out for other celebrities to sue them as well. There's the polarity, okay? A lot of people that once doxed, cyberstocks Milagro, but now pretending to be her friend and pretending to take her side is really not about her. It's about protecting their own good. Same thing with a DJ Academics and other people who are just not entertaining or funny without doing the most towards a celebrity or an individual. Me personally, if I was called to sit on the jury for this particular case, I would actually tell the judge that I'm not fit to sit on this case. And I think this is where you guys are seeing and feeling like that I'm biased against Milagro. I don't have anything against Milagro. Milagro is beautiful. She looked her best today. I could have stayed outside the courthouse and got her, but I didn't want to do that because I feel like her and the rest of y'all, especially a lot of YouTubers who are worried about their whole operation being blown up, like how her operation was blown up. I feel like people feel like I should take sides. And that's just something that I'm not willing to do. However, like I told you, if I was called to be on the jury in this case, I would say, Your Honor, I cannot do this. And they'd be like, why? I'd be like, because I too went through cyber stalking. I too had people release revenge corn, spin false narratives against me. I know what it feels like. I know how it feels. Me personally, and this is one of them cases, I cannot take myself out of this case. I cannot sit up here and act like I don't know what Megan Thee Stallion is complaining about and like it's not happened to me or any social media. And for all the content creators on YouTube, on these other platforms, y'all know about the doxing, the cyber stalking, and when people do too much. And I took personal to that, okay? So what happened was on the first day, Milagro get up and testify, I'm with her. When Megan fied, I couldn't do nothing but help but put myself in her as well as Milagro because I do the same, right? So I'm putting myself in both of their shoes. And y'all don't know what it's like to be, don't know what it's like for people to run fake narratives about you and tell half truths and to cyber stalk and harass you. There needs to be some form of accountability for the things that have happened to me. Things that have happened to me online, Milagro knows about it. Other people that showed up knows about it. They never once did anything to help alleviate any of that. My brand was tarnished. My reputation was tarnished. Even right now, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking about something somebody did to me on the internet 2-3 years ago, and they was never held accountable. So I think you guys are thinking that I'm biased against Milagro when I have nothing personal against her, but for the fact that I feel like what Megan Thee Stallion is complaining about is something that not only macro but micro content creators go through. And for some reason, people on the internet, the nigga net, y'all pull up when people are doxing, cyber stalking. Y'all pull up when people are talking about somebody's family member that has nothing to do with the issues at hand. And then most importantly, y'all partake in staying culture and tribalism, which is something that I've always spoke against on Clubhouse. So with that said, I think you guys are sensing that maybe Denat is internalizing what Megan is claiming that Milagro did to her, and I am, okay? It is hard for anybody in that courthouse, especially another blogger that has been doxxed themselves, that have gone back and forth. It's kind of hard to not internalize it. Some of them ain't even showing up today or the next day because they know they speaking lies about what's going on in the court because they have an agenda, and that agenda is to push out misinformation based upon everything that's happening. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. So with that said, I'm going to give you guys commentary on everything that happened in the court. And in between my commentary, in between the information, I'm going to give commentary based on the information I know publicly. And I'm going to loop it back around to be based upon the information that was released in court. For instance, I literally heard Milagro saying Megan was asking how to stop people from talking about her and harassing her and bullying her. Milagro said something that indicated that Megan should just go ahead and off herself. disappear. That has not been brought in the court of law. You understand what I'm saying? So if that was brought in the court of law, there would be no question that Milagro is responsible for severe emotional distress, and in contradiction to her testimony where she said she didn't know that she was affecting Megan Thee Stallion's mental health. That has not been brought into the court. So on both sides, there's things.
Usually don't let anyone do my hair.
I figured. You don't like letting people take care of you, do you?
Thoroughly, and you also want to make sure that you separate what you know opposed to what's happening in the court of law. It is closing argument time. No matter what evidence that they missed, or no matter what testimony that they missed, they are doing closing argument. So I can tell you guys about certain things. Somebody also wrote a comment on the post that I posted. I want to see it. I want to read it verbatim because I told the girl that I would. Oh my gosh, give me 1 second. Where is it? It was something like Megan needs to move past this Tory Lane narrative, and that this trial has given people a new insight on Megan, and that it's time for her to move forward from this Tory Lane traumatic experience. That's why today I was like, okay, after this case, we don't want to see you crying anymore. Okay. Some people are attacking me on Instagram. Why don't you say and do the things that you said and did to Cardi B to Megan? I don't like Cardi B like that. I like her, and I know she's a nasty person. So I approach people based upon how I feel about them. And I don't like Cardi B like that. That's just what it is. So I asked her a question that I had a reasonable opportunity to know based on her history that she would respond a certain way. I actually like Megan, and I do believe in protecting Black women. And at the end of the day, history has told us to always favor the narratives on the side of the woman. Even if your woman beating you and she called the police on you, you going to jail. Okay, we are told to walk away from women and let them just have it. And why can't Megan tell her story? I feel like her next album should be called Her Story instead of History, Her Story, Her Story. Because this is a Black woman taking charge of her history, taking charge of her brand. All these multi-million-dollar brand deals that she's probably presented with, people are probably giving her pushback subliminally. Oh, you're a liar. You lied on Tory Lanez. So let her go out and correct that history in some way, shape, or form. And I do believe Milagro is the fall girl. And I do believe that after Megan secured judgment against Milagro, she's going to go after other people, and she's not going to have to be in trial with them because it's an operative fact. But without further ado, I got to get into the content. Let me say what's up to everybody. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Greatly appreciate you guys. Also, I'm going to just be completely honest with you guys. When I went up to Florida, my cousin did something and got caught up. And it's Thanksgiving coming up, or else I would not have helped bond my cousin out. Okay. So I'm down $500 that I planned for this trip because I had to bond a family member out. And I do stuff like that because I would hope and pray that they would do it for me or somebody would do it for me. So definitely, if you've enjoyed me covering this trial, if you've enjoyed me showing Megan Thee Stallion in a light that a lot of people have not given her grace, to show how beautiful she is, to show how elegant she is. And again, it's all about energy. I feel like she feels me and my energy is genuine. I have not done anything or said anything for her to violate the gag order. I just given her bits and pieces of information and or just motivated her to keep her head up, which is what I want to do. Okay. And matter of fact, let's go ahead and start with that. The clip that I got today, I think it was probably one of the best ones because, my whole thing is you can say whatever you need to say to a celebrity. Last night, you guys seen the video that I did. I was like, Megan, you need to stop crying. We tired of them crocodile tears and stuff. And anything that I say can be said publicly, can be said to the individual. It's not what you do or what you say, but it's how you say it. So I really like, this is my favorite exchange with Megan, right? I don't be all in her face every time she leaves the courthouse. I just do what I need to do and make sure she gets the message and the information and make sure her spirit is uplifted as somebody who supports celebrities and somebody who also went through strikingly similar allegations that she claimed Milagro did to her, but in my own unique way.
Megan, you're so stunning every single day. I think what you're doing is great, not just for celebrities, but for any content creators. We all go through the same thing. After this trial is over, stop that goddamn crying. And T. Ferris, don't send her nothing else with your messy ass. Much love. Have a good lunch.
Okay, I felt that's my best clip because so you guys don't know who was there unless you paid attention to my commentary when I really started taking it personal what she was going through. T. Ferris, her manager, the one that she's bonded to, because T. Ferris got a call from her mother on her while her mother was in the hospital before she went into a coma, and unfortunately Megan had to put the plug on her. Megan's mother called T. Ferris and told him to look out for Megan, and so he's a manager. No matter what I say, what anybody say, T. Ferris is connected to Megan, and I feel like he don't need to send her nothing else, because when she testified and when he testified, I was so upset. I was like, why the hell is T. Ferris? Why are you sending Megan all of these clips from Milagro or anybody that's saying anything hateful? It's counterproductive. Why are you sending her this stuff? And I went through the motion of, well, maybe he's just sending that to her because he's looking out for her and he don't know any better. So I went through those motions and I was like, well, at the end of the day, she's not going to get rid of T. Ferris. Her getting rid of T. Ferris and falling out with T. Ferris, who's an extension of her mother, is going to bring up that particular form of trauma. And we are all human beings. Let's be crystal clear about that. We're all human beings. Megan is a waterside. So she's a crybaby. And so I was always trying to figure out, especially since day 2 of the trial over a week ago, how the hell do I confront T. Ferris to tell him, nigga, don't send this girl shit? How you gonna send her stuff that make her sad and depressed, and then you continue to do it and you get the same results? You are insane. You, T. Ferris, showing Megan this hateful rhetoric about her, the harmful information is not gonna do anything to help her. And so I've spoken about that. And last night I also spoke about Megan crying on the stand yesterday and said, okay, girl, we tired of it. So I addressed both of them in a very polite way to where they got the message. And a lot of people feel like you have to be negative for people to get the message. No, you can be negative and toxic and stuff to your audience online. But then when you see these people, if you want them to receive the information that you're giving, it's very different from me telling Megan to stop that goddamn crime than a Milagro to tell her to stop that goddamn crime, because she understands who I am. Her security team and the people around her, they see who I am and they understand what's going on. They understand. And so I felt it was very important to have that moment and tell her, girl, you need to stop crying. Pick your head up. And I think I actually pulled up that message that somebody sent. Oh, view all. Oh my gosh. Why the heck can I not view all of these messages? But anyway, somebody was like, it's time to see Megan in a new light. It's time to see her uplifted. I don't want to see her go on Gayle King or another platform in an interview crying the same tears. You can cry more than one time about the same thing, but it needs to hit differently. We don't want to see the same tears. Or maybe she just needed that tedious moment. Well, not tedious, because anything I do is big, but she needed a tiny moment of somebody who support her, a man, specifically a black man, since the Joe Buddens, the DJ Academics, and the other black men on YouTube that's covering the case want to act like Milagro is not guilty of what they claim that she's guilty of. She needed that. And so since the duration of this trial, I poured into her. And let's be crystal clear, she's the star, not Milagro. Milagro testified and said that YouTubers, their ultimate goal is to want to be on TV. And then Armand Wiggins, he started crying because that's his goal. It's not going to happen for you. It's not. If you dealing with a film and television professional, you got to know what a gaffer is, what you don't know. You got to know lighting. You got to know camera angles. You got to know what a shot list is. You got to have a program. Nobody is going to come to YouTube and say, hey, I see you and I want to put you on this big platform and then teach you everything that you need to know to be in compliance with the formation in which film and television actually work, even if it's just a talk show. Why do that when they got a Keke Palmer or Jennifer Hudson, an actual artist who knows about film and television that they probably more than likely learned by having actual legitimate credits, making music videos, and then, let's put them on it. It's not going to happen. You're not educated in television to be on television. Any of my friends that work in television, one of my neighbors is Chris Spencer. He's an executive producer for Grownish and so many other things. He's also a stand-up comedian. I feel like I do a little stand-up segment on YouTube, but it's very different than actually going out in the streets and performing it, writing it down and performing it and so forth. And then it's also very different to be on YouTube with 300, 400,000 or even 1 million subscribers saying that you want to go to television. Anybody that works in Hollywood already know that I'm just on YouTube to make my money and then also to tap into the people, engage with the people. And oftentimes engaging with the people is not that great of an experience for me. So I'm always met with a secret hidden animosity at the fact that it's people like Milagro and Armel who wants to go to television, and I've already have those credits, and I already know the knowledge, the wisdom. If anything, I'm probably the one that's on YouTube giving you commentary in the celebrity gossip space that can actually go back to television because I know people in television. I know producers in television. And if they try to cross over in television, I'm going to be reminded of the harmful things that they said and did to me. Just like Megan is going to be reminded of Milagro, who testified that she wants to be the next Oprah Winfrey. Matter of fact, she didn't say she wants to be the next Oprah Winfrey. She said, I am the next Oprah Winfrey. I wish I had my oh Lord button. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. We got a lot to get into. Let me get to some of these comments before we get into what happened today. What's up, Darlene Chestnut 9975? You said, I know she wants know how her bestie really feels, but she's never gonna know because she's hiding out, but put those around to attack. Oh, that's interesting. No shade, Keke and Jennifer is boring. I would rather watch one of y'all from YouTube, and that's fine. It's new media. It's an option. Because you rather watch, it gives us an avenue to make ad revenue, clicks and views.
My secret to confidence? That starts at European Wax Center.
Every time I opened that spreadsheet, my soul left my body.
I had that too, but I switched to Pipedrive.
This is how I always pictured.
From Voice Behind the Truth, Elizabeth said, I love that interaction you had with Meg. It was epic. And that's what it is. I feel like unofficially, when I interact with her, I'm a part of her PR to correct and rectify some of the harm and to treat her as if she's special because she is at a new level. She's signed to businesses and got contracts and obligations in the commercial world beyond the scope of new media. And she needs to be reminded of that. So my interactions with her is just that. You guys never seen me pull out my camera with Milagro coming out of the court. And there's no shade to her. You're not a star to me. You're just a YouTuber or somebody on Twitch. The same way you try to downplay and say our mom was just a YouTuber when he poured it baby. Or you're just a YouTuber too, Milagro. And I respected you. And I know that you feel a certain type of way because it seems like I've taken Megan's side, but I've taken the side of the truth. And the truth is you should not be able to get away with your cyberstalking harassment and try to claim that you're a media defendant when in fact you have direct connection with Tory Lanez and his family. Not only did they have to unearth that, but you sat with them during the Tory Lanez trial. And we're going to get to your media defendant privileges. And I think the jury is going to side with you. I never caught her coming out of the court, leaving. That was TMZ and that was the other people. I never did that. I'm not going to feed into your ego. I'm not going to do any of that. But one thing that I did do when Milagro came out of the court is that I took a video of her fan, somebody that watches her on social media, gift her a painting. And if I'm keeping it in the bean, I don't think she appreciated it. Some people even left a comment saying she don't even have that P.O. box. She don't want any of that. I literally went upstairs to get her come down to the courthouse to give her that moment of happiness because you're going to need that moment. You need that moment instead of coming out like, look what I got on today and I'm the star. And no, I gave you that moment. And that was the only moment of Milagro that I captured because I feel like that's the only genuine moment of happiness that she would have experienced. And then you got Mr. Big Gums antagonizing me. Don't come around me. Don't do any of this. You see me talking to this dude the whole time. And now you running down here trying to usurp an exclusive. Like, get up out of here. Niggas that go to court cases, don't be there the first day and leave even before the verdict is reached. My nigga, you don't have no genuine intent behind nothing that you're doing at all. Okay. And I'm not the type of person to chase clicks and views. I'm all about quality. And that's what I'm going to give you. Clock that T. Let me get to a couple more comments. Yeah, she said she wanted to be Oprah child. She said when she said that shit in the courthouse, I was like, put that hyena in a fucking zoo. Yeah. Give her some lithium or something, because you bad shit crazy. Oprah had a full white audience damn near and giving out cards and shit that made her. Lotus said, I didn't know who Milagro was until did not mention her in this case. And that's the thing. And then you got Milagro. She has a bigger presence way longer than me on social media. And people over in her area probably say, I don't know who she is. I didn't know who you was until this case or until she said you was nice and brought her a coat. It is what it is. We all have different audiences. And Milagro has to understand that. I got 1, 2, maybe hundreds of supporters that don't know who the fuck you are. And you probably got thousands of supporters that don't know who the fuck I am. So this is the importance of collaboration. Unless, of course, you're denied and they can see that you come from film and television, something they aspire to do. So they're not going to uplift me because if they aspire, like Armand aspired to be in film and television, and he's not there, and you dealing with somebody who was there, you're not going to uplift me because you're going to think that I'm going to get there and get back to what I was doing quicker than you. That's why I don't get no praise and no love, no recognition or anything. That's why when I get cyberstalked, doxed, harassed, nobody comes to my rescue. I feel like Megan. These people want me unalived simply because I have commercialization behind my name. Jaguar Wright is another one who has a fucking album and made the song Cry with Jay-Z for just one moment over 25 years ago, and she's all of a sudden a celebrity online. I don't blame Beyonce, Jay-Z, and them don't giving people a proximity to them. I don't blame it because it comes with a lot of dirt. So Milagro personally lost me when she said that YouTubers do all of this stuff to prepare themselves for television. It's not going to happen. Okay? It's not going to happen. Y'all don't know who y'all be messing with and who knows who. Just because you see me on YouTube with y'all every day because me being on YouTube is one of y'all peers, you let one of these niggas like Armand Wiggins think that you're going to make it in television and you're going to see who I know because I'm going to make calls to make sure that never happens for you. The same way you make calls to make sure that I'm suppressed on YouTube. You're never going to get to where you want to get fucking with me. And I promise you that. You want to get on TV. I took a step back. I can go on auditions and all this other stuff. You can call my talent manager and tell them whatever you want about YouTube. They already knew it beforehand. So you're not going to ruin shit with me. But you're not going to cross that threshold. And you're going to stay put right where you at on social media. Dead ass on the dead homies. A couple more comments before we get here. My thing with Meg is that she turned on Nicki when Nicki was going through the same thing. This is why I'm Team Milagro. See, that's stuff that I need to unpack and I don't know about. Maybe you can send me some information that I know about and I can curate a question for her because tomorrow Meg is going to be able to answer questions because, her attorneys are right now, when we go back tomorrow, are refuting and rebutting the closing arguments of the defense. And then they're going to give jury instructions to the jury and there's going to be a decision reached. These people's not going to go home and say happy Thanksgiving to their family and be worried about Megan Thee Stallion or Milagro. Megan remembered what happened that night with Tory and what was the motive since I heard they was all hanging out having fun. Ashton, well, if you have an opinion about the CC, then why are you here? Okay, exactly. Get up out of here, okay? We don't care. We don't care. Thank you so much, Darlene Chestnut. Listen, Darlene Chestnut, Darlene, Darlene. Please, I wish you would have sent me that $10 on my cash out. My stomach is stuck to my back. I gotta eat some bubble gum or something. Pure character flying in the air with the red cape and a smile on his face. Pear character flying in the air with the red cape and a smile on his. That sounds like a cartoon character. But I thank you so much for that $10. Thank you for yes, absolutely, absolutely. Somebody said you sound so hurt. All you got to do is recap the trial. Well, you got to understand something. The reason why I would go outside the courthouse and tell you guys and get that smoke about Armand and then go in there and take more notes and get more information to him is because after this trial, how you going to pivot? It's because after this trial, how you going to pivot? You still over here and you still going to pull up if I talk about him and drag him when the content get dry. Don't you think that's a strategy? See, I'm not on YouTube thinking that it's going to make me a star or thinking that nothing above. No, it's all a strategy. Oh, he's crazy. Look at him crashing out. But you tuned in, though, and you're going to stay tuned in. So when this trial is done, how you going to pivot? Should I go back to Christian Rock? I can. What can I do? Or should I get on his motherfucking top? Since it ain't nothing but the clicks and views. That's what I'm saying. And for that reason, sweetheart, what we're going to do is go ahead and put you in timeout. So we'll see you in 86,000 seconds when the trial is over. You just watch from the motherfucking bushes, bitch. Somebody said, this just seems like a personal vendetta you have. Here's the thing. Like I told you guys, I have experienced what Megan Thee Stallion is complaining about in her lawsuit, what she testified about. So again, I told you at the beginning of this live stream, if I was on the juror or selected to be the juror, I would have to be honest and say I went through something similar, and there is no way for me to separate or differentiate myself from any of this. And that's on a case-by-case basis. Like if I go to Detroit and cover the Naziah Harris and Jarvis Butt trial, I'm going to be strongly emotionally impacted about a predator. You're not going to have a problem with that because in society, we all say that we're supposed to protect kids from predators, right? I'm going to take that personal too. The thing is, you're a part of staying culture and you can't think for yourself. And you don't understand that the significance of this case that Milagro Grams is facing with Megan Thee Stallion, my personal vendetta against the activities and the actions against these YouTubers like a Milagro and Tasha K and other people who have normalized this type of behavior, of course I'm going to take that personal. It happened to me. It happened to me. Yes, this is an opportunity for me to get my shit off. So I concur. So I would not be able to sit on the jury. But I got the information that you don't have and that I sat in the case to listen to. And moving forward, you won't be able to talk in this motherfucking chat. So we'll see you in 86,000 seconds too. I had no idea who Milagro was till I seen her giving AK her notes on Tory's trial, Elizabeth, exactly. I never heard of Drag Right until I found your channel did not. Oh, child, bye. That's a bald head liar. Thank you guys so much, okay? I greatly appreciate you guys. Like the video. Hit up my cash app. Do everything because it definitely costs money to be here. $50 for parking. I'm in this Airbnb. Don't y'all like it? Yes, indeed. Anyways, let's get to the notes. So Milagro continued her testimony from yesterday. And yesterday she said YouTubers want to prepare themselves for TV. She said Tory's case need to be retried with proper evidence for her to believe Megan was shot. Tory Lanez ain't getting a retrial because of Milagro Grams is what I wrote. Yes, indeed. Just like Shanquella Robinson ain't getting no justice because you niggas then took the case and then told the cracker what to do and called them to harass them. He ain't getting no goddamn retrial because of Milagro Grams and everything that she went prancing around the internet, the messy ass judges, since you got doctors, lawyers, and professionals in your audience, the messy ass judges at the appeal court and the trial court have been listening to you, Miss Mob Radio, and they sick and tired of that. They want that shit to be over.
Skillmatics brings magic home with crafts that spark creativity and activities made for little hands that
trial. Mostly because of his own action in this video. As you guys can see, this is the video for Cap, Tory Lanez. And he put HGS special when it comes to meat, leg of lamb plus a little honey, baked ham and stuff. And I'm like, what kind of animal leg is you cutting up in the freezer and stuff? And Megan said that, and she believes it is a horse's leg. Milagro Grams even tweeted and said, is that a horse leg, Tori? Yeah, laugh. HGS, when it comes to meat, stands for like grass fed, high sugar grass, meaning that it's grass fed kosher beef. That's what it can stand for, HGS special. But I don't think Tory Lanez is smart enough to know that. HGS stands for Hot Girl Summer. He did not testify in his trial. He didn't even testify at the hearing based upon this video, which got his monkey ass locked up pending his trial. HGS, Megan testified and said that stood for Hot Girl Summer. And this is where he lost me at. Okay? And this is the music video for Cap. And then if you look right here, what kind of animal is this? This is a whole leg. And there's a hoof at the end of this leg. That is to represent a horse leg. And he's also cutting up a horse leg on the table while continuously rapping his song. Okay, and still right there. You understand what I'm saying? It's a different chalk. It's a different something different wrote on the chalkboard. And there's press and media that he's speaking to, and then he's talking about he's too rich for booby traps, meaning that he's too rich to get caught up in crimes, and now he's in the court of law. And then around this time, he rapped and shouted out Prodi, who was Megan Thee Stallion's ex, who did a diss track against her eventually. Like, he has no respect for the law or anything of the sort. And in the court of law, he decided to throw the bag of horse legs that he caught up right there in the courthouse. Right, this character that represents Prodi is stressed into distress. And then he goes into the hospital, and we know that, Megan apparently lied in the hospital. And this character is supposed to represent Prada, who was in a relationship with Megan at that time, cutting up horse legs and everything. And then at the end of this video for Cap, Fargo's Revenge. How many of y'all seen the movie Fargo? Same thing Meg's attorneys asked. The movie Fargo was about revenge. Started off with petty crimes and then ultimately ended up being something so heinous to the point in which you cannot come back from. And so Megan said she took this video as a threat. Is she going to sue the creative director of it? Why didn't she depose them to figure out what this video was about? Why did they choose some type of foreign animal that looked like a horse leg to chop up? So that video is what caused Tory his freedom, in addition to going out on the stage to harass her. And it's giving nigga vibes. All right? I wasn't at the Tory Lanez trial. I was not there. And if I was there, this whole narrative online would be completely different, because everybody's voice matter. Everybody's voice matter. And it wouldn't just be to protect women and all this. It wouldn't be just that. It would really be about the facts. And the facts have been completely distorted. Somebody even left a comment saying Milagro never said that Megan wasn't shot. She just went back to the glass incident. Well, she went back to the glass and foot incident, and Megan later on changed it to be a bully. How is she unbiased and being impartial? Why 5 years later you need to bring up the glass, something that Megan refuted within the statute of limitation for the charge in which Tory Lanez was convicted of? And we all know that Black women and a lot of women go to the hospital with substantial injuries caused by their partner arising from domestic violence and lie about the causation of it. And then when they finally speak out, there's a whole community of people going against them, oftentimes in their personal life. But with Megan, it was the entire internet. So how could Milagro have been impartial if 5 years later she's going back to Megan's initial statement where she basically said that she lied to protect a black man and black people. We all see that. We all go through that. There's speculation that Megan's lying about that and she's just pandering to the people. But who knows? Let her write her own story, her story instead of his story. And should y'all women, should y'all be proud of a woman taking the bulls by his horn and writing her story instead of listening to history? His story? Why does history always have to be defined by a man in the interpretation of what a man and the information that he put out? Y'all bitches are hurt. That's why y'all flock to that narrative that she was a liar and she was never hurt. And let's pick at Megan, because y'all bitches are hurt in your real life. And you ain't got no niggas to stand 10 toes behind you. And you don't know what it's like to go ahead and own up and tell the truth about that nigga beating the fuck out of you and unalive and you beating you with pistols and threaten you. And y'all get mad at any woman that stand up and speak against these dog ass niggas. That's what I see. That's my honest opinion. That's my commentary based upon the facts. Fact is, Megan changed her story within a timely fashion. Fact is, Megan changed her story after she felt Tory Lanez showed her no empathy and she had to come out. Fact is, yeah, she signed with Roc Nation. And yeah, I do feel like she benefited off of the women protect women narrative, and she continued to benefit off of it. Well, guess what? After this case, she's in charge of her story, not history. His story, as in Tory Lanez's narrative. She has a right to protect and defend her brand. And if she used Milagro as a fall guy to ultimately go after the DJ academics and stuff, people with deep pockets, to make it easier to go after them, I'd rather y'all tell me about all the white people who stole from black people and told their history. The winner, the victor, usually gets to tell history. And in this case with Megan, it's her story. It's her story that she wants to be in charge of. Who the fuck are y'all to put out information about somebody online and run with that because you got a cult following listening to that fuck shit? And yes, it's personal. Who the fuck was y'all to dox me and wholly misrepresent material facts about me to build your audience, to take away from my platform? Fuck all y'all. That's the way y'all been giving it up on YouTube. And whether it's Milagro or anybody else, bitch, I'm siding with the truth and I'm siding against the egregious shit that you niggas do to each other. Fuck out of here. Anyways, they played a video of Sunstar saying that he called Tory before the news broke and Tory told him everything that happened. They was like, oh no, we didn't bring that evidence in. Okay, but the cat's out of the bag. This is coupled with Milagro bragging about speaking to Sunstar and writing everything down, but then testifying, saying that Sunstar stopped right before the shooting happened. We don't believe you, Milagro. We know you feel like you know everything, and you know everything that Tory told the Sunstar, which is secondhand information because he wasn't there. Sunstar Peterson failed his own son, Daystar Peterson. That's why it sounds like he the son. You failed him, nigga. You talk all that Jesus Christ shit and your son ain't made nail song represent Jesus, and you folded like a little bitch because you getting that moolah and living your lavish lifestyle while you going around here saying you holy and sanctified. We already got a Tyler Perry. We don't need you. Back to what happened. Cooper had direct contact with Tory's sister Destiny. Then Tory sent her a message promoting Scat, which was another music video he was supposed to release. And so therefore he looked at Milagro as if she was a promotional piece. And y'all got to understand 48 Laws of Power. Milagro, you was never important and still are not important to Tory Lanez and his family. You was just a pawn on the chessboard. Why get your hands dirty when other people can do the work for you? Isn't that 48 Laws of Power, law number 19? Let other people do the work for you. Let other people say and do your dirty work, and then when the going gets tough, you drop them like a hot potato and act like you don't know them. That's 48 Laws of Power. Anybody looking for power? And mind you, power is not the epoch of life. Power is connected to a chakra within you, below the heart chakra. And so when somebody's on the quest for power, they don't have no heart in it. That's why Caesar didn't give a fuck about you, Milagro. That's why he betrayed you. It was all about power. It was all about using you. And it's a shame that Milagro, as a black woman, cannot see that Tory used her as a mouthpiece and just apologize to that lady. When the hell is you going to get down and bow and pray and start licking and sucking Megan the way that you said that you was going to do if you found out that she was actually shot? But today you testified and said she was shot. Yeah, I know she said she was shot, but I always go back to this. As much talking as you did, less is more, honey. Because as much talking as you did, you made yourself look so ignorant, Milagro. You made yourself look so ignorant, talking about you graduated, went to the top criminal justice school, and they ain't teach you what beyond a reasonable doubt was before you graduated. No, it's not giving, Milagro. It's not. It's not. You defended a nigga who didn't defend himself. That's like me going to my brother and defending my brother, saying my brother ain't did that shit, facing 40 years, and then I help him out as if he didn't do it and help him with court papers. He don't file it because he know he did that shit. So many people waste judicial resources. Look at Luigi in New York City, wasting judicial resources. We all know you did it. Tory Lanez is this mystery. Talking about he the new OJ. Ugh. Anyways, back to what happened today. I'm gonna go through what happened today in chunks before I start giving commentary so that you guys can differentiate between the information as set forth in court and then commentation, which is information, which is my opinion and information in the public domain that probably more than likely was not brought into the court of law. All right. There was a video, the same video, June 8, 2024, where Cooper promoted the video, the Revenge Corn or the deepfake AI, saying,
"These pizzas are built different, literally. Mix and match medium specialty pizzas for $9.99 each."
Black Friday, wow, shop, Wayfair now, month long big deals, yeah, these are steals. 80% less money spent. You can't go wrong, check out the song. Free shipping, wow, Wayfair is home. Win the season, win the season. Wayfair, 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 Wayfair.
That she was going to let Nigga Girl post it, even though she's Nigga Girl under a different handle. Basically, Milagro's burner account, Nigga Girl, was used to do her dirty work, so it wouldn't be traced back to her actual account on Discord. And if her account on Discord would have basically posted it, it would have been reported and taken, and she would have lost administration to her Discord account. And we all know, I got a Discord and people tell me, hey, you're on Discord, create a burner account that you can post from so that if anything happens to it, or create an account and you can give that account administration, because if your account is ever reported, you won't lose access to it. I literally got a Discord with over 20,000 people in it. I posted something and they reported my account and I was the only admin. So the Discord account with 20,000 people and it's just floating out there in the metaverse. I can't use the at everyone, how I have it set up and so forth. So Milagro created a burner account and wanted to post it in her Discord. And she testified and said, oh, thank God I didn't post it. But we wouldn't know that because you scraped your Discord before you gave them access to it. All these burner accounts and malicious agendas and narratives, we don't believe you. And see, I know a thing or two about Discord and how this stuff works and the intricate knowledge being a social media influencer. So you definitely won't want me on want me on the jury. Because if I was on the jury, girl, we're gonna rule against you on everything. And it is a personal vendetta against all of these niggas that ain't nobody and wants to go to TV online. Back to the testimony, Milagro claims she isn't monetized, but she receives Cash App. And I put Cooper's Twitch is monetized. You can't even comment in her comments on Twitch without subscribing for $7.99. Just because your YouTube wasn't monetized don't mean your Twitch ain't monetized. You get ad revenue in all them subscriptions. Hundreds of people watching, thousands of people watching your Twitch live stream with hundreds commenting, and all of them are paying $7.99. Girl, I'm not hating. It's the fact that the matter is your whole approach and everything. You want to avoid them asking you about social digital currency, which is invaluable. You want to avoid them asking you about the ad revenue that you made, and that the ad revenue that you wouldn't have if you didn't build a rapport for yourself and establish a brand for yourself, talking about Megan Thee Stallion. So in a way, theoretically, a lot of the money that you're getting is out the back of Megan. Even Tasha K, yes, she built the platform for herself, 500,000, but quickly shot up to over 1 million playing with Cardi B, building a rapport for yourself. And now your audience is used to you dragging somebody, so you got to do that all the time. Shit can get you in trouble. Cooper's interview with Sunstar Peterson. I put they trauma bonded. Cooper took a trip to Miami and she took a trip to Miami and claimed that it was normal for Sunstar Peterson to pay for her trip and to pay for all of this. No, that's not normal. You're the one, since it benefited you the most, you're the one who was supposed to pay for all of that to get that exclusive on your platform, or no money at all. It had just been even and mutual. It is not normal for the person who's requesting an interview to overcompensate for somebody else to come and interview with them. That's crazy. Cooper's tip line, okay? Milagro was sent tips about Megan's previous address. So she looked at the address and cross-referenced the address to Megan's photos at that location. That's cyberstalking, babe. That's cyberstalking. Watching everything somebody do, then you feel like you got to be the sector corrector or the corrector, and then you looking it up from she looked at Meg's video. Meg was bragging about registering to vote, and it was in the state of Florida, and that's how she found T. Ferris' house. You're further proving and bolstering what Norel said, the guy. He said you pay for information to go behind the scenes and look up people's information and addresses. Yeah, you went from a voter's registration with Megan, but did you have to pay to get T. Ferris' address? If not, you had to do thorough research. Since you do research. And then this is what she really told on herself. She said, getting responses from celebrities make you connected to them. And then she said, her platform is about conversation. It's not a cult. She claims that she's not a clout chaser and not waiting for a viral moment. But you contradicted yourself when you said getting reactions and responses from celebrities make you connected to them. Is that why somebody left in the comments section said that Milagro was not hating on Megan until Megan ignored her? Is that why you hated on her and started ignoring, because she ignored you and Tory Lanez reached out and you felt like you had to pick a side and you picked this side? Even all the way to the point where you said with the family. Cooper ends her show with a positive affirmation message. Little black girl, you are beautiful. Little black boy, yada, 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 yada. The same thing the fish-eyed fool do. So you mean to tell me you get to drag and cuss and do all this other stuff, and people that you're talked about are not supposed to be personally offended by it, and then you leave a positive message of affirmation at the end of your show? It's giving manipulation. It's literally giving manipulation, honestly. And I get it. And I totally get it. I feel like the bulk of Milagro's content is content and is unbiased. But when it comes to specifically Megan and Tory, because she had access to Tory's special privileges and could benefit off the social digital currency, and wanted everybody to know she was mentioned in the Tory Lanez song, wanted everybody to know that she had exclusive access, you gave the report with that access. And y'all losers and narcissistic people online, what y'all do is y'all don't be concerned about the fucking truth. Y'all be concerned about the relationship that you have with these people, and therefore you can't tell the truth about them if it's against them. The only time you tell the truth about them is if it's going to benefit you, or if it's going to reinforce this ideology that you're friends with them. I don't fucking operate like that. Nobody should operate like that. You're picking a side. You already picked a side. You had a reckless disregard for Megan's truth and Megan's story and Megan's versions of the event. Even HBO knew that. That's why you was in the second half of the Tory Lanez event. While Mr. Big Gum sitting there playing the 50. He's good at playing the fucking 50. And I said Cooper's platform isn't conversation based. It's not. Even my platform, for the most part, is not conversation based. I talk, I give content. You know, I get to the comments when I can. I barely drop the link for anybody to come up. And matter of fact, I'm gonna do that to you guys and for you guys. Or else it's just like you got an environment is my way to highway. Like let's be clear. This is my channel. This is my environment. You don't like nothing that I'm saying, then you can go somewhere else. And if I'm honest about those sentiments, just on his face de facto, bitch, I don't give a fuck what. Don't attack me. Don't say nothing. You're gonna get blocked for life. I don't care who you are. Go to somebody else's channel. There's channels out there that hate me and drag me, and that's their sole purpose, which is why I'm siding with Megan on this situation, because it's egregious content. It's egregious behavior. So to think that if Cooper built her platform being pro-Tory for 5 years and been pushing this narrative and agenda, say you just a new person that come and you just find out about her through this trial, and say, for instance, she was still talking about Megan and calling her a lie, and you have a difference of opinion, she's going to block you. That's why her and her first moderator fell out way back. Had a moderator from 2017, 2018. Then when this Tory versus Meg happened, he fell out with you. He testified. Nora testified and said, because I have a difference of opinion when it comes to the Tory and Meg stuff, it took a toll on our relationship. And that was your moderator. So there's nobody going to be able to come in, or was able to come into her chat and say, I think you're lying about Tory and you're against Megan. She's going to cuss you out, block you, and throw you. And she has a right to do that on her platform. But my thing is, that's a clear indication that you picked a side. You didn't block them and throw them out because they're attacking you, but they're challenging the commentation and the opinion of the side in which you chose. Okay? So it does give cult vibes. Bitch. We the culture over here. You ain't got to go live and say nothing. We the culture. That's what, drop some hearts in the chat. We are the culture. And my culture over here, I encourage them to think for themselves. I do. You don't. Milagro claims she has a close connection with her audience and they know she's not a bad person. Milagro says she's the draw to her platform and not Megan. Okay. In a sense, I can understand that. But in another sense, I can't. You worked diligently in overtime to make sure you had authority over the Megan and Tory case. Make sure you wanted every one of the bloggers who was talking about Megan and Tory know that you're sitting with the family to gain authority over them too. So you going against Megan was a significant contributor to your platform, which includes, but is not limited to, making sure you maintain the viewership on Stationhead so that you can renegotiate a long-term contract. Megan's attorney said Cooper picked an enthusiastic mob, a free Tory mob. Megan's attorney asked if Cooper said what she said about Meg in real life when she feel like she's at the risk of getting her ass whooped. Cooper said she don't want to fight Megan. After all things Cooper did, why she scared to fight? Bitch, all that shit you talking online, that's why I be like, that's the same thing with Mr. Big Guns. All that shit you talking online, telling people I got AIDS and all this, then you coming up in a building with me, nigga, run that fade. Don't call the police. And it's clear by your actions, Mr. Big Gun, saying I got AIDS to 100,000 people call me a stalker, try to put me in this. That's why I'm taking this stuff personal. Mr. Big Guns, you came on the second day to harass and to pick on me, feeling like I'm going to crash out and I'm going to be off. And then you left before the verdict was reached. You was never here for the case. You was here for clout or proximity and to show people that you're better than the next person. You are the biggest fucking hater, Mr. Big Gums. And you was stank. I got to tell you guys something at the end of the video, and it's very, very important, so you want to stay here. So I was like, girl, you talk. If you can't say it in people's face, then don't say it at all. I mean, like I told Meg yesterday in my live stream, you got some crocodile tears. Won't want to hear him no more. I told her to stop crying. I said it to where it's digestible to her and not offended. But I did kind of like be performative about how I said it online because that's just pandering to my audience, but still keeping it in the being and being real. You can't say some shit about somebody you can't say to their face. Milagro has pictures of Megan's house and interested in her recycling bin to prove alcoholism, in which she failed to do. Then they played the July 21st, 2025 deposition. Sunstar came onto Cooper's platform about 10 times is what she said. Her proximity, exclusiveness. I guarantee you Milagro would have fucking flipped out if Sunstar would have went on anybody else's platform because it takes away from her credibility and her exclusiveness. Oh, you mean to tell me that he's at other people? I don't have to be here and listen to you. I can go to here? Yeah, I'm going to go somewhere else. No. Milagro bragged about having exclusive access to Caesar McDowell, Unite the People. Can get information from him at any time. And look what he did to you. Threw you under the bus. Bullshit talk and money walk. Okay? Milagro checked their messages. Tori and his sister contacted her. Milagro didn't provide the court with messages from Tori, and she deleted the WhatsApp messages with Sunstar. October the 29th, 2024. Milagro was given a notice not to delete anything, but she still did. She's still up there justifying what the message was about. Mind you, the jury already got instructions to liberally construe that she deleted messages between her, Tori, and everybody to help them prove that there's a conspiracy between Milagro and Tory Lanez's camp. And mind you, this is civil court and federal court that's based on the preponderance of evidence. It's not beyond a reasonable doubt. The devil is busy, y'all. Cooper wasn't present at the evidentiary hearing for Tory Lanez's trial, so she don't know why certain declarations and affidavits and stuff was not entered into the record. Ignorance of the law is no excuse for violating it. I think she felt like she won when she said she wasn't there and didn't know this information. I guess she felt like she won, but really and truthfully, that went against you, girl. It was verbal diarrhea all over the place for her. And I was like, what? What? Cooper said LAPD botched the investigation because they used paper instead of placards to mark Megan's blood trail. You improvise. Paper placards or something that looks similar. Let's get this. You improvise. You don't have any placards in your car. You take sticky notes and mark it. There's no law that says you must use placards to mark this blood. You got to mark it some way, shape, or form. There's no law. And I'm like, girl, you come from criminal justice and you just reaching. And so when she said that, I'm like, this girl is a reach. I don't know if the jury can comprehend it. Like, what the fuck do you care about the scene with the blood on the ground and placards versus paper and so you mean you can do the police job better than them and tell them what to do and they rules and they regulations. Ignorance. Cooper pulled up to Jaquan Smith's. They pulled up Jaquan Smith's affidavit. She says she has to. Okay, they played a video for her pulling up Jaquan Smith's affidavit where she has to acknowledge that the gun, the bullet fragments are in possession of the LAPD, but they still ain't released it. Again, sensationalize it. You only reason she acknowledged that is because she knew, okay, Jaquan said this and the bullets and fragments and LAPD. So the next time I talk about Meg and Tory, I can continue to push this conspiracy, this Rock Nation agenda, and double back on the hashtag free Tory Lanez narrative to get the people going. Milagro claims she corrected herself about missing bullet fragments, but that correction continues to push the narrative that glass was removed from Megan's feet and Kelsey shot her. I put in Kelsey shot her. She didn't even testify to that. I gave her grace. Cooper says Meg getting shot has been a narrative for 5 years straight, which further proves that this girl has been dealing with this shit every fucking day. Every day you look at you got to understand something. Somebody on YouTube or somebody on social media talking about you, even though T. Ferris is a messy ass nigga, like, don't show that girl that shit. But people are reluctant to searching their name on these algorithms and seeing what people are saying to combat it, to defend themselves, or at the very least to take control and charge of their brand. You don't think Jay-Z and Beyonce don't see what's said about them? They don't respond, but you're not going to say no shit about me or nobody and act like that's going to be it. Oh, no, they're clocking you. They're clocking you, and they see what you're doing, and they're going to get you eventually, them and their legal team. But it shouldn't slow down the operation. And Meg, being that she's emotional, being that she don't have any family, like, let me turn this light on. Why is this shit blinking? Did that mess up my lighting? Yeah, it did. Oh. Okay. Meg, being that she don't have no, it's Thanksgiving coming up. You don't think that girl's gonna be thinking about her grandma, her mama, her daddy, and all the times and experiences that she can't get back for Thanksgiving? Yet again, Milagro talking about the girl dead parents and pulling up her dead mama criminal records and shit like that. Cooper said, Milagro said the Go to My Likes was up less than 15 minutes. It don't matter. You decimated it. And you bragged about the viewership of it going up if you tweeted out Go to My Likes. Before you even hit the post on X, you bragged about it on Station Head. Get up out of here. Milagro Station Head of her dissecting the deep fake corn video. She encourages Megan to sue the creator of the video. And then in her live stream, she pulled up a Kimberly Martin on Facebook who posted a screenshot of Meg's X tape and blurred it out. And then they played Milagro's audio and said, I did not tell anyone I was a reporter. New media is a combination of, and I will give Milagro this. I will give it this. She defined new media as a combination of journalists, news reporters, and mixed with unique personality traits. The failure of legacy media opened an avenue for new media, so she says. Now, I'm a SAG actor and producer. I helped a lot of people join SAG after Screen Actors Guild before AFTRA, which is for radio and broadcast, merged and it became SAG AFTRA. I was a SAG signatory and still am a SAG signatory producer. Anybody that wants to be an actor and get the documentation to compete for major roles in Hollywood, I can do that for them and have done it for quite a few different people. Okay. And the way I did it is SAG, Screen Actors Guild, understood the utilization of social media and platforms like YouTube and so forth, especially after Issa Rae created Angry Black Girl or Awkward Black Girl. And then it turned into the same thing. Awkward Black Girl turned into and went to television. It went from new media to television. New media, before these social media personalities came about, was really about a way in which social media could be utilized to display content that wasn't quite up to par for Hollywood standards. New media was never about journalists and reporters. New media has become that. And I'm telling you guys that based on experience and based on facts of when how I became a new media producer, internet videos, and even when people film commercials that's designated only to be shown on the internet, that's new media content. So Milagro is trying to redefine new media because this is the only validation that she can get in the art form, I guess, in proximity to and her hopes to be in Hollywood, to say that this is what it is and I'm a star. And it's delusional. New media always represented a form an art form lesser than television and less expensive to create and produce and publish. That's all it was from my experience. Way back in 2013 when SAG, before it joined AFTRA, decided to open up a new media division. Anybody on YouTube, and I'm giving them clues. Anybody on YouTube doing new media, I can make anybody with a YouTube channel a SAG-AFTRA actor based on your content from new media. I can do that. So when I tell y'all all these new media people like Milagro who don't have a SAG card, Mr. Big Guns, who was on TGI Fridays, which was a new media show through SAG signatory producer, I got the same power to do that for anybody. And I don't even need to put together a show. I can take your content the same way you can get a press pass. I can make you a SAG-AFTRA actor so that you can compete with the Michael B. Jordans or whoever it is for whatever movie role. You can't compete at that level until you join SAG. I can do that. I could have been did that.
Route 1 Hyundai is recognizing all first responders. For everything you do for our community, Route 1 Hyundai.
For anybody. And I won't do it because you're not deserving of it. Okay. Ara Groger, ain't no need for you to comment, bitch. You gone. Get up out of here, monkey. Something you can look at and verify. Facts is something you can look at and verify. And then Milagro said, Rihanna and A$AP Rocky are friends with Jason Lee, who at times report things that are not favorable to them, but they're still friends. So you want a friend. She hoping and praying. That's what happens here. They hope and they pray that they can harass and bully and cyberstalk celebrities into complicity, into exclusive interviews. It's people that cyberstalk and harass me every fucking day, stuck on YouTube, that only wants my attention. And I tested that theory. It's somebody that stalked and harassed me every day for 2 years straight. I went on a platform and had a conversation with them. And now there's no issue. So did I empower you by having a conversation with you? And now you feel satisfied. You feel in control. You feel empowered. You feel like you got your power back. Knowing damn well I know that you're going to eventually start back harassing me. So I guess I'm in a deep freezer. In the back of the deep freezer. You saving for later? Just imagine if you're a celebrity. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. So Milagro comparing Rihanna and A$AP Rocky's relationship with Jason Lee to her relationship and correspondence to Megan Thee Stallion is not feasible. Not at all. I just think it's cap. I think it's an excuse. I don't believe Jason Lee has ever been accused of doing some of the things that you have done. As a matter of fact, you got into a beef with Jason Lee. And then Milagro was like, not speaking about Megan isn't conducive to her platform. It might not be conducive to your platform, but your motherfucking platform was built on it. That's like Tasha K saying, I don't have to speak on Cardi B. You ain't going to give her back the 600, 700,000 new subscribers that you got out for fucking with her, are you? They hooked, they tuned in, and they know what's going on. So that was irrelevant, honestly, in a way. And then Milagro, and this is to the title of the video, Milagro Grams claimed that she was bullied by Megan Thee Stallion and Roc Nation. Specifically, she claims being questioned for hours and hours about the lawsuit she's in, and during cross-examination feels like she's being bullied and endlessly stabbed. Says she has no family or friends in Florida, and the only reason she here is because Megan Thee Stallion drug her here. Let me tell you something that I learned, motherfucker. Anything that you do under the color of law, whether you like it or not, is legal. That's like that's like you cussing out the police and you got a wielding a knife at the police and doing something and they shoot you and unalive you. Ain't no help for you. They acted under the color of law Okay, them people subpoenaed the court to depose you. They done drug you in there for trial. They know that them asking you questions and deposing you and DJ Academics for 7 and 10 and 8 hours and all this other stuff. At least she didn't do like Caesar McDowell, who acted like a straight up monkey. Motherfucker looked like he was a hungry, big, thick ass Charles Barkley, acting all out of your body and your character. They're doing that under the color of law. The court nor the jury give a fuck about how you feel about them deposing you and dragging your black ass into court. You should have did something and made sure you stay out of the court. Cooper's out. Milagro says Megan was hurt, Megan was shot, and bullet fragments was found in her feet. So what is your rhetoric for the past 5 years? Have you made it abundantly clear that Megan was shot and bullet fragments were found in her feet? Because if that's so, why you keep going back to Megan had glass removed out of her feet? Why you keep going back to that if today you testified that bullet fragments was moved out of her feet? Why you keep going back to Kelsey shot her when you don't have no personal knowledge? You just listening to Tory Lanez, who did not give testimony in his own case. All the people that was there didn't testify on his behalf. And a nigga putting forward an affidavit when you know you was there now on appeal and then get slapped down? Nah. You wasn't there. No personal knowledge. Just like Sunstar said, he called his son before TMZ and all of them posted it. His son told him everything. Nigga, your son brainwashed you. A lack of accountability. How many niggas in prison to this day right now keep lying to their family, saying they motherfucking innocent and they not? What make you think Tory Lanez is so special? Oh, he has money. He has clout. He's a celebrity. It's the pandemic and this is the new OJ and I could just go viral and be this big old creator. You played yourself, Milagro. You're a whole fucking woman. Let a nigga use you. And I hope that's not a microcosm of your real motherfucking life. What happened to female women empowerment? Ain't no fucking way in hell that I'm going to be in a situation. Okay, listen. And just to be clear, this is in reference to Megan and any other motherfucker that done lied. Bitches lie real fast and will get you caught up. I got a cousin in Winter Haven, Florida that burnt down a motherfucking trailer. Her and her daughter lied on the nigga and the nigga is doing a life sentence for it. Do you hear me? Don't put yourself in a situation with these bitches because they would definitely lie on you and click up to help lie on you, which is what Kelsey and Megan allegedly did. Yeah, I heard about Megan and Kelsey. The last time they seen each other was at Rock Nation with Desiree Perez, and Kelsey somehow signed a non-disclosure agreement not to talk about it, and Meg feels safe and protected by that. I heard all of that. That's not in the court of law, though. It's not. And it'll be different if I wasn't there at the trial. Because I'm there at the trial, I'm looked at and I'm going to be scrutinized more than the average person who's talking about some shit that they don't have no personal knowledge on. So my opinion has to be based upon the facts given at trial, or else I can be at jeopardy to get sued next. And then they called Megan Thee Stallion back to the stand. Okay. They showed her the music video for Cobra, and which is something I always thought was important. Okay, this is why they wanted to kick me out of the courthouse. How many times and how many days have I been sending bird calls? Y'all worried about Megan and trying to get over this alcoholism. Y'all need to play Cobra. What she say, this pussy is depressed and I isolate myself and I be drinking and doing all this other stuff. Meg said that was just a play on word. That's just her expressing herself. I do feel like if she was a nigga or a rap, if she was a male rapper, they would, just like they used Tory Lanez lyrics and music videos against him, they would have used that against him and instructed the jury to pay special attention to that when you're deciding if Cooper defamed Megan based upon calling her alcoholic, which is something that has not been refuted yet in closing argument. And today and tomorrow, Megan's attorneys is going to finish closing argument. It wasn't even mentioned in defense closing argument. But when they called Megan back to the stand, they asked her, did you show this video and the lyrics to Dr. Lenore Walker, the lady who coined battered women syndrome. And Megan mentions cutting her wrist and drinking Pinot, which is wine, wanting to commit suicide. And then the lyrics, she said the lyrics are poking fun of the narrative that she drinks a lot. And it reminds me of her going live, drink, with a little small Hennessy bottle with a straw in it to pick at Bigfoot when her record went #1. And I can see that. Her name is Megan Thee Stallion. She was insecure about her height growing up. So now she's named herself Stallion to take advantage of and to take full control of any and all of her insecurities. And me personally, if somebody say something about me online, it's going to be like, yes, and but what? Okay. What are you going to do about it? If a YouTuber was like, oh, he's obsessed with me, I would take it even further and tell you how I sleep with you and get you against the wall and make you tap out and all that stuff. I don't mean that. You shouldn't have said that I'm obsessed with you. Now I'm going to show you what it means to be obsessed. And I'm going to show you what this Jamaican up do. And then you can't go play the victim because I'm only dealing with the narrative that you put out there. So who are you to put a narrative out there that I'm obsessed with you and that I want to sleep with you? And then when I go along with that and tell you that I had you against the wall, have you choked out with a puppet mask on and pushing it out, and now you offended, you shouldn't have led the narrative in that direction. So it's called the clap back. Megan has the right to clap back. And so that cleared it up. She said she was just poking fun of it. Because that's the narrative. You still gonna listen. I still listen. And I was like, damn, this bitch really an alcoholic. Let me continue to listen. Why is it us depressed? It's art. So whether she was lying or telling the truth, I don't think it's conducive at this point in time. Milagro does not get the sympathy in this case. So talking about her upbringing and her family and all this stuff, she don't get the sympathy in this case. You're not the plaintiff. You're not the one spending all of this money. You're not the one that's a celebrity who has a fucking busy ass schedule and then cleared your whole schedule to come into court every single day when you don't even have to be there. Milagro don't get the sympathy from the jury. She don't get the sympathy of the court at all. They don't give a fuck about you almost going bankrupt and being negative $10,000 in one account, having to come here. They don't care. You don't get the sympathy. Megan was asked if she knew she was depressed with PTSD prior to seeing Dr. Walker. She said yes, but she couldn't diagnose herself, which pretty much bolstered that there was a professional process went through. So I don't even know why they asked that. They tried to discredit Dr. Walker too. Child, bye. Thursday, November 20, 2025, Megan thought a fan asked her a question. The question made national news, and then they tried to play her and say she's talking to the media on Friday. I don't know if you guys noticed, but my whole strategy, even prior to the Megan case, my whole strategy has been to give information. She responded with her behavior. That wouldn't be violating no gag order. And so the only thing that I have done, me personally, is give positive affirmations to Megan. She don't have to respond to me. Her responding to me is by looking at me, smiling, and going about her day. And you guys have enjoyed that. I'm not asking her no questions about the trial because I know there's a gag order. Now tomorrow, I'm probably in a better position to actually ask her a question and get answers because I'm the one who's created a rapport with her, who's respected her, who loves her security team. I'm the one who created the rapport. So I knew better than to ask a question. That's the other people out there that don't know what's going on, aren't familiar with asking her questions. And Milagro's team is bringing that in and saying, hey, she's violated the gag order. What's the purpose of it? The judge already said yesterday that she won't issue no sanctions, which I feel like is biased against the defendant. You can charge them all kind of sanctions for speaking out. But they also pointed out that Milagro is talking about the case. They ordered the defendants and the jury and people not to watch content and commentary given about this case. Milagro is in the bushes, honey. Why do you think she mad at me? Why do you think she quoting and saying, oh, Armand loved me. He just don't know how to show it. That's the same nigga that played with you. My honest opinion about your case, you mad at me and don't want to fuck with me about it, but you want to fuck with people that have doxed you, played with your kids, and did all this shit that I don't do. Bitch, you would never even get the chance to play with me like that. Because I cut motherfuckers off like this for playing with me. I don't care if you work for TMZ or whoever you think that you are. If you play with me one time, it's over. I think that needs to be the new fucking normal. So she's watching this stuff. She's commenting on this stuff subliminally. Why sanction Megan? She ain't talking directly about the case. She's giving positive affirmation to her fan base. Megan, like it or not, is a mental health advocate. That is a part of her brand now. Just like she did the Hennessy out of the straw, just like she named herself the Stallion because she knows she's tall and she used to be insecure and hated about herself. It's the same way she's going to take this case and make it into her brand. Listen, if I can tell Megan one thing that I really want her to take with her, a part of her craft, is to name your next album Her Story instead of His Story. History, his story, her story. Her story, because this girl, this woman is taking control of her history. How do y'all feel about men, white men especially, telling the story of Harriet Tubman and replacing her with Cynthia Erivo, somebody who ain't even Black American? If she can go back and take advantage of her story and we can solidify it, why not do the same thing for Megan? Ain't we supposed to be protecting and pouring into Black women? If it weren't for a Black woman, I wouldn't be here. Whatever happened to pouring into Black women and believing Black women? But it's a difference because you got Ahmaud Radio, one of the most vocal women out there, that's saying F her, listen to me, and is protect Tory, a nigga who didn't even defend himself and got you as a mouthpiece and threw you the fuck away as soon as it was convenient. 48 Laws of Power. Dumb. All right, then they got into closing arguments. The plaintiff, as in Megan's team, said there was no relationship between Megan and Milagro. This is a case about the pain derived from Milagro's actions. Whatever version Milagro has in her head is not based on facts. She has no personal knowledge, but secondhand knowledge about what happened that night from Tory Lanez's father. Megan's theory is I got shot, and it became a joke on the internet. Okay, July 2020, Tory shot Megan. Megan says Tory shot her in August. So less than a month later, she said, you shot me. Milagro comes in looking for an interview with Tory Lanez. After Tory Lanez and his father, they contacted her. I will give her that. Milagro got a Stationhead contract and then goes to Miami to sit down with Sunstar and possibly Tory Lanez. Tory shooting Meg has been adjudicated by multiple courts, accusing Meg of perjury as if it's a crime. These are the statements. You accuse her of perjury. This is when they get into defamation. Even though Tory's in prison, his spirit and sentiments live on through Milagro. Milagro in her videos was asking for a lawsuit, and the jury has to decide if she crossed the line. Milagro inserted lies repeatedly into the social media machine. During deposition, Tory walked in like a CEO, asked the judge if he has to be there, and then he walked out like he was a boss and like he was in control. And they said that that's the characteristics he displayed when it came down to all of this. Milagro co-signs the Cap video. And Milagro co-signed the Cap video. That's the video where Tory Lanez was cutting up a horse leg, where Tory Lanez has HSG behind.
Your child is awesome.
their jury is going to believe HSG in the Cap video that Milagro decided to share in reference to a horse leg. You can't dispute that, Milagro. They got you tweeting out where you even thought it was a horse leg, with HSG behind, with him defying the court, throwing the chopped up horse leg to the jury, and then having Fargo's revenge at the end of the video, meaning that he committed a petty crime. And if Meg go to court, testify, he's going to chop her into pieces and do something more egregious to her. That's what the video for Cap looked like, based upon the preponderance of evidence. Milagro undermines Tory Lanez's conviction, saying that you went to Stanford and criminal justice and only got an AA in criminal justice, but you don't know what beyond a reasonable doubt, preponderance of evidence, circumstantial evidence, direct evidence, and the difference between all of that. They didn't believe you. You in the court of law talking to lawyers that's been practicing law since before your ass was in shitty Pampers, and a judge and everybody looking at you like you stupid. Less is more. And Milagro was verbal diarrhea yesterday and today, feeling like you proving your point, talking like you on the station head, a live stream minus the profanity. That's why I be telling people, these new media people, you're not ready for television. When you go to a producer talking about television, they're going to ask you certain questions that you need to know. And if you're not educated on that, they probably take and go with somebody less attractive with a lot less fan base, because at least they know what the fuck they're talking about and they're doing. Do you know the history of television? Do you know why? Do you know when they changed the cameras out to where, you know, they fixed the color grading for black people and white people to be? Do you know about the Shirley test? Do you know what that is? Do you know what the golden ratio is? Do you know what the 2/3 is? Do you know what a shot list is? Are you talking about being on television? Even Wendy Williams knew this information and had to know it before she got on television. She knew where her cameras was. She knew which camera was doing this and that. All of this information and knowledge that you must have. And it must be knowledge. It can't be information that you're processing in real time. Learn as you go. It must be knowledge, some things that you don't have. And you don't have that. You don't. So, undermining Tory Lanez's conviction in correlation to Milagro saying that she studied criminal justice is a complete slap in the face. And what it tells the jury is that, okay, you have a degree in criminal justice, which means that you're supposed to know more about the law than me, the average person sitting on the jury, and you have a defiance towards it. You just like Tory Lanez and wonder why you named yourself Nigga Girl. Milagro promoted a deepfake pornography video. And she testified, said that she thought it was Megan yesterday. Whether you thought it was her, whether it was fake or whatever, it sounded like your attorneys was bolstering you and telling you to go with a narrative. But regardless, your black ass is going to be held accountable for that deepfake video. Tory Lanez sent Milagro on a free Tory mission, and I do believe that, based upon the preponderance of evidence. All these attacks, they wanted Megan in therapy or to hurt herself. And that's another thing. Like, that's what happened. These people, you got homeless motherfuckers spinning narratives saying this and this. You want me to hurt myself, or you want me to put your name in the title to give you a back and forth and give you attention and affirmation, and it'll never happen. So, yeah, I do believe that Milagro wanted Megan to hurt herself because she was Team Tory from the jump. Milagro presented herself as the accountability police on DJ Academics 1 or 2 weeks after the criminal trial was over with. Megan's attorney said Milagro's ideology is the victim is Tory. The villain is Megan. Milagro talked about the glass versus bullet. Tory Lanez's appeal addressed all of Cooper's theories and shot them down. Tory Lanez's appeal and factual allegations have been adjudicated and is now dead in the court of law. I told y'all, today is day 7 of the trial. Tory Lanez had 10 days to appeal or file a writ to the Supreme Court of California to basically say the appeals court got it wrong. If you have exhausted that time limit, no matter how right you are, Motherfucker, the Supreme Court won't have jurisdiction to look over it due to the statute of limitation and due to the fact that you didn't file it in a timely mannerism. So now you going to get issued a remitter in the trial court to bring up what? You can't bring up the same things that have been shot down by the higher courts. So everything that Milagro and social media was saying has been shot down in the appeals court. And I told y'all on day one of the trial that Tory Lanez can litigate his case all the way up until he wants to. So Tory Lanez feel like, oh, LAPD, they got the bullet fragments and they're holding this and this. I got this other claim that I need to make, but I got to go back to the trial court because I didn't raise it in the appeal. So you want to forget about all the theories that you claim that you're innocent on appeal and waive your right to reclaim them in another appeal or to take it to the higher courts just to go back down dealing with a break. Anybody saying Tory is free based upon the information Milagro put out, that DJ Academics, Joe Budden and all of them, that has been adjudicated. You motherfuckers are going to get sued. Megan testified yesterday that this is the first of many. And I don't blame her. Fuck you talking about 48 laws of power. Go after the easy pickers, the broke bitch with no money that did the most, the mouthpiece. So I can get an adjudicated fact against you and use that to send out notifications to the DJ Academics, the Aiden Ross, and the Joe Buddens to say, I'm going to sue you niggas if y'all play with me. If you don't recant this in 7 days, I'm going to sue you. And mind you, y'all can't sit up here and say that I'm a hater because these are two black women going against each other. One broke and one ain't. That's it. And I will never side with a broke bitch that can't do nothing for me. Sorry. Sorry. The deep fake pornography video. Cooper is guilty for violating the revenge orange status by sharing the deepfake video. Cooper admitted on the stand that by going to my likes and having a nigga girl profile to post the content to give credence to what she's saying. And mind you, they played a recording where Cooper said out of her own mouth, go to my likes. This shit ain't got number 4.5K views. Watch how many it gets now. Yeah, you guilty. Cooper channeled Tory Lanez's hatred towards Megan. Nobody cares about Cooper, but the celebrity she talks about is what Megan's attorney said. Then they played the recording. Watch how the post jump. This is when she talking about the revenge corn video. They played it. She said, watch how the post jump. This nigga had 4.8K views, and watch what happened when I add fire to this. So says her own words. You ain't getting away with that. Cooper developed and maintained a track record for harassing Megan. Dr. Lenore, Megan's therapist, came in a picture, I think in June, July. Megan's real image and reputation is at risk with the Tory Lanez narrative. Again, don't know brands, don't know musician, no brands, no. Listen, this shit with Megan ain't no different than Chris Brown beating Rihanna. Lost all kind of brands and sponsorship all the way to the point Chris Brown beat up Rihanna so long ago. Y'all demonized and bashed Chloe Bailey for collaborating with him. And that shit happened a long time ago, even after Rihanna forgave him. So this Tory Lanez narrative is definitely fucking with her money and her brand and her reputation. I'd be damned if I have to step outside and go to a booking and go to a show worried about being heckled and asked questions about a nigga that don't rank to me. Or that don't matter to me. And I know, free Tory, why the fuck we ain't got no transcripts where he done told the truth? Why we ain't got them transcripts? Because he didn't speak for himself. How the fuck you gonna yell and put a nigga on a t-shirt and a sign saying freedom and they didn't even defend their motherfucking self? Using a goofy bitch like Milagro to do your dirty work, huh? You goofy as hell for that. No way in hell. You know how hard. And I have a brother that's locked up doing 40 years. How many times I said, free my brother. My brother ain't did that shit. My brother all but told me that he did it. He all but told me that. Just like Tory Lanez all but told y'all he did it. And he was responsible. Cooper never answered any of the attorney's questions, but went on long essays, and the jury has already been instructed to review her behavior as evasive, meaning that if she didn't answer the question and she went on a long essay, that particular question is favorable to the plaintiff. Just like you deleting messages is favorable to the plaintiff. If anyone asks who Milagro is, people would say free Tory or anti-Meg, so says Megan's attorneys. This was her claim to fame. Megan wants to put distance between her brand and the branded label of being a liar. Yes, indeed. Then Megan have a Fenty campaign, and then when that shit happened, Rihanna stopped fucking with her. And that's a Roc Nation client. Mental anguish damages. T. Ferris testified that nothing worked when he tried cheering her up. Megan had to go to therapy. A $240K bill distress. Now, Malagro's attorney is done, and he done rested his case. But I've been like, mental anguish. Blame that shit on T. Ferris. Because T. Ferris testified and said that he was sending Megan the clips and letting her know what's going on. People in Megan's inner circle was sending her the clips and letting her know what's going on. Blame that shit on them. She too booked and busy to be worried about what a little old Milagro Cooper got to say in the court on the platform. And T. Ferris and all the people are sending this shit to Megan. No, blame her inner circle. That's why I told T. Ferris today, stop sending her shit with your mess ass. You causing her to be triggered. Like I told you guys when I first covered his testimony, I don't like that either. Don't be sending me some shit that these people say about me. They're not going to get in no boxing ring, and they're not going to make my motherfucking mouth bleed, and I'm going to go to jail.
3 adds up to all-in-one small business insurance. One comprehensive policy. One bill to pay each month. One provider.
Now, Meg's team need to be held accountable too for the behavior that y'all displayed and how y'all actually partook in the mental anguish, from Chelsea to T. Ferris and everybody else that you still got around. Hell, I'm not even going to lie. I told Tom, who I call Roc Nation Hitman, that shit, maybe Megan need to get rid of T. Ferris if she feeling the type of way. They trauma bonded through the death of her mother. And I was like, well, if they trauma bonded through the death of her mother, then T. Ferris need to know that he has power and influence, and she's not going to let him go and use that power and influence to convince her to get the fuck offline. He even testified and said when Megan decided to get offline, he would still bring her and show her clips of Milagro harassing her. Nigga, you're the reason why she's mentally anguished. Let's keep it a bean. But guess what? They ain't do that. Milagro's attorney stood up there for a whole hour, putting people to sleep, and he still ain't even articulate that T. Ferris and Megan's own inner circle called her mental anguish. Try to blame it on therapists and shit. Try to blame it on Nicki Minaj and other people, all but her inner circle. Anyways, Megan suffered suicidal ideology. Social media has power over Meg's reality, is what she said. Social media has a power over a lot of people, especially if you live in the public and you necessarily depend on social media to sell records and to do your job. Yes, indeed. Tory Lanez cat videos played, chopping up a horse leg, hot girl some on the chalkboard, disrespecting the court, mentioned Prada, and Fargo's revenge at the end. Again, that was a threat. The whole video, the visuals, and Fargo's revenge at the end was a complete threat. Cooper took away the net volume of the truth. Then the defense decided to get up there and close. And I'm not even going to lie to you. Even though I did see some mistakes with Milagro's defense, let me tell you something about that young black man that's defending Milagro. That young black man and them 2 black women that's defending Milagro, they are doing their job. They are doing their job. Sometimes they can't help the cases they take on or the diabolical individuals that they represent. But I don't see Milagro appealing or blaming anything on their attorneys. And if she do, that ain't no more or less narcissistic than Tasha K blaming Olga for why she lost the case, bitch. Take some self-accountability. And I'm going to tell y'all right now that the way Milagro's lead attorney, that young black man, defended her and spoke for her and used the analogies, He did a phenomenal job. And you guys know I know more law and more information about law and cross-examination and closing arguments than the average person. That man did a phenomenal job. Phenomenal job. And I'm going to go through it. I was like, what's going on here? He's like, 2 children living in the house. And I'm like, and then the microphone and shit was fucking up, crackling. I'm like, 2 children. He just kept repeating, 2 children living in the house. I'm like, damn, if it don't fit, you must have quit. Ass nigga, 2 children living in the house. 2 different viewpoints. One day, a child that's religion. Then the other one fights him basically for what he believes in. And he compared that to say, hey, you got 2 opposing opinions and 2 people fighting about it. Who's to say that the kid that's fighting, that's an atheist, fighting his religious brother is right or wrong? We need to come to some type of conclusion to stop this fighting and have a mutual respect for each other's opinion. And I was like, oh my God, brilliant. I was like, that is so brilliant. Somebody did, in fact, join. I'm finna see what they got to say. What's up, Tay Bay? How you doing?
What's going on?
Pretty good. I'm going through closing arguments for Milagro Grams, and her attorney did do a great job. But you got anything to add?
Yes, I just feel like don't give Milagro so much. Take it easy on the sister. You going hard at her. Megan cool, but remember, Megan a snake. So she gonna slither and slither. She might be, she might give you a shot. You might could bang her. Who knows? On a late night tip. But just slow down on Miss Milagro. We need the new media.
But
We
here's
need
the thing.
them.
New media needs to be revamped. That's my ideology. I don't have nothing personal against Milagro. I didn't, and I already told you at the beginning of the video, don't know if you've seen it. The reason why it seems like I'm going hard at Milagro is because the facts, the factual allegations, and the circumstances of this particular case. Matter of fact, Milagro, she posted some content about me and had her whole audience to attack me. And then when I reached out to her to correct the true nature of it, she made a whole disclaimer. Oh, did not reach out to me. So we going to give him a chance to say what he got to say. But let's make it clear. I don't have to do this. And this is my platform. And throughout all of that, I realized that, oh, bitch, you have a reckless disregard for the truth. You don't really want to pull me up. You literally are doing this because this is a Ponzi thing, back and forth between you and Mr. Big Gums, but you have given a complete disclaimer to make me feel.
Style your cozy living room with perfect coffee table. Enjoy Black Friday deal right now.
About me that you put on your platform. So that's another thing. And then also, when I got on YouTube, everybody loved me. I wasn't looking for these creators, these big creators. They was in my bushes when I had 30 people. They would write me, and then when they do one little thing that I feel like could turn into something bigger, I cut them off, and now I'm the most bad person on the internet. Now I get doxxed. Fake deep AI corn, my family get pulled up, my address and stuff get pulled up, and these bigger creators, they don't necessarily do it, but they use people to do it, and then they go to repeating the same thing that these people have said and done to harass me. And so, Milagro is in the crossfire of a lot bit of what I experienced and what I think needs to be changed on new media. I don't think she needs to stop what she's doing as far as being a blogger and being an entertainer factor, but you cannot be partaking in or supporting other people that partake in certain behavior that is being brought up in this case that I too have experienced. So I don't have nothing personal against Milagro. I just know and resonate with what's going on. This is why I said what Megan is doing is good for the people, and it's also good for other people like me. If you don't know the clips that I got Megan's attention, I let her know, hey, you're not the only person that goes through this. We all go through this at some point. When is this shit going to change? Is this going to be the case? And at the very least, I don't think this is going to change everybody, but it's going to change everybody's perception of, damn, maybe when I partook in that happening to Megan or denied or anybody else, this is how they felt and this is the consequences. So let me stop partaking in it. You as somebody that's watching me, that watches her, you have more power than you think. You have the power to stop partaking in that. To come, and you as a black woman, you know that. You know that.
Well, let's not put black into it because that's a whole nother sphere because these are bots. These are not even real people to me when it comes down to certain comments. Somebody can do a whole troll farm on your page and it looks like it's 80 black women, but the whole time it could be a white man or Indian on the
It'd be the
back
same
end.
person making a comment and then liking it 50 times. And shit. I've seen that too.
That's why we have to be careful with this particular case because the way that they're presenting it is almost as if she is the head leader. I don't want to say Milagro is the head leader. She may be one of the players, but she's not one of the leaders. And Megan can, and I honestly just keep it real. To me, it just seemed like this is some woman stuff because why is T Ferris not being held accountable? We have to look a little bit deeper. It's not making any sense to me. That's why I can't stand by it. I don't care, who it is going back and forth. But when we look at certain things, to me, it seemed like they put Megan Thee Stallion has put her company in the red to where she has missed opportunities, missed deals, and now they're looking to see how can we recoup? What can we do to try to clean this up? That's what it's giving me.
Wow. So that's an interesting take. That definitely is an interesting take. And with T Ferris, and I'm gonna say this, like it's equal smoke across the board. And again, I think, and like I said, and I'm gonna re-utter to everybody, I don't have nothing against Milagro is a very beautiful girl. She has never done she's never done anything so offensive to me. And I don't want her to use me and my commentary as a moment to where she feel like I'm being offensive to her. She gave her commentary about Armand and other people outside the court and what they did, and that's just what it is. Why is there a problem with to not give his commentary on YouTubers and what's going on? I don't understand why everything that I do is so blown out of proportion and exaggerated. It's like the average YouTuber can do half of what I do and they'll be forgiven and they'll be back friends. But then when I do something and say something, everybody wants to make me be crazy. And I'm like, you understand what I'm saying? So I don't have nothing personal against Milagro. The facts are the facts. And Milagro's behavior is offensive to
So
me.
I
It
think
happens to me.
what they are saying is because all of the information is different from the info. We can't even get Megan Cuniff because Megan Cuniff is giving bought and sold by Rock. They say you are getting paid by Rock Nation.
No,
That's
I'm not.
what they say.
The Rock Nation has not offered me anything at all. At fucking all. Nothing. I'm in the court writing notes and taking notes just as well. What you're seeing is create DJ Academics. Of course, he's going to be anti-Megan in this situation. He has adamantly stated, even before the trial started, Rock Nation sending subpoenas, or I think I'm going to be sued next. He's afraid. So is Armand and other people that have built their platforms off of cyber stalking or saying fragmented statements that could be considered cyber stalking, defamation, and so forth about other people. And they feel like the determination in this case is going to affect their business and they're going to be next. So though I'm in the same room, I'm open to both sides, or I'm open to hearing it. I'm personally offended about the cyber stalking and shit that I experience every day that Megan has also experienced. And then Milagro or Armand or DJ Academics, they're personally offended that you mean to tell me I can't say what I say.
This little light of mine has been dark for quite some time.
Easily. You understand what I'm saying?
I do, but they've been building this case on this girl.
They have completely normalized. Even when Noriel testified, he testified about Milagro stalking.
I'm sorry, I can't take anything he say as facts. It seems like he's a hater from the count.
Right. Okay. Let's go ahead and concede that Tasha K responded to him and what he said, and said 5 years ago she drugged Milagro's kids and she did all this and it was nasty and the doxing and all this other stuff. That happened to me. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm just telling jokes. I can look at your picture, look at your video. I don't need to talk about your mother. I don't need to pull up your record and spin lies about you. I don't need to talk about I don't need to do any of that. That took the fun out of the internet and the banter for me. And so my switch, since y'all said, my switch happened when I heard Megan testify about how it affected her. And everything, and how why she said she got stepped on glass and later turned on it. Like I have people in my life, Black women that have gone to the hospital with substantial injuries from their domestic partner dispute, and they lied for them. And everybody in the fucking hood know they lied. So when Megan testified, all that shit came up for me. That's why I said I couldn't sit on the jury in this case. I couldn't. Because I would rule against Milagro. And so that's the sentiments that you're seeing.
But do we go on Gayle King and lie?
Huh?
Do we go on Gayle King and lie too? I would feel like if you really want to have your moment, it wouldn't be in court. You would have went on Gayle King national news, because honestly, to me, this case is not even picking up any fire. I don't even know. I don't know if it's a Cardi B moment. I just feel like it's something deeper than this girl talking about me. I want her to stop. It got to be something more.
I think what it is both of them need a woman to woman moment. I would never, and mind you, I firmly believe, and if I'm wrong, I will come back and apologize because I'm not on the jury. But if I was on the jury, I would decide against Milagro, and I would be adamant about deciding against her and convincing other people to do the same thing, because I have my own personal trauma, which is why they would not have picked me to be on the jury if I was one of the people. I keep telling you that. And so my whole thing is, in the court of law and the way this stuff works in the court of law, yes, I know Megan lied on Gayle King, and Megan came to court and cleaned up them lies and told the truth. My thing about it is, wherever you from, us people in the hood, they'll do 3-4 depositions to somebody, and then that person will go to court and act like they're not going to snitch, and they'll put the deposition. Do you remember giving these statements on this? And they say yes, then that enters into the court record. When it comes to deposition, you're under the penalty of perjury. When it comes to the court of law, you're under the penalty of perjury. When it comes to Gayle King, you're under public scrutiny. You're in the court of public opinion. And because I care about my reputation, I'm probably going to say some things that's not necessarily true, because I can't stand and not strong enough to stay in the backlash that I know is going to fall from this. But in the court of law, you have no choice but to tell the truth. Men lie, people lie, women lie. You can lie. Niggas in the hood, the no snitch code. Oh, I ain't snitched on the dead homies. But when you go to court, nigga, you just gave a deposition. And they ask you to confirm that you snitched or not. Oh, you snitched because you didn't think that it was going to take it to trial, and now you got to get up there and testify. You understand what I'm saying? Even much Big U has a court case that WAC 100 is named in the indictment. That was strategic, so that he can have a legitimate excuse for why he has to be called as a witness. From the jump, he set the record to where he can go ahead and claim an alibi that he's not an informant and he's not. You have to go and testify. What you say out in the public can be brought to your attention under the court of law, to where you are obligated to tell the truth. Anything outside the court, even the statement Milagro said that if Megan wants all of this to go away, just disappear, which insinuated to me that she wanted Megan to just unalive herself. That has not been brought up in the court. So I can't use that as a statement to persecute Milagro, because Megan's team didn't bring it into court, nor can I use anything to persecute Megan because Milagro's team haven't brought it into court, or they have cross-examined her and she's answered it. And in civil court, it's the preponderance of evidence. They got beyond a reasonable doubt, adjudicated facts and all this stuff stacked against Milagro. So I'm telling you my opinion based on what's delivered in court and based on operative law. And I know more law than your average YouTuber. Do you understand me?
I get my information from Megan Cuniff, and I'm just feeling like it's giving bias.
And that's a culture vulture. I don't even fuck with her. Matter of fact, I don't even talk to the dude from TMZ because she tried to diss me and I drug her from filth in the courtroom. I told her she had shitty hair, she stank, she dirty, she ugly, she look like she owned 10 cats. I told her that it's not in the courthouse, but in the courtroom. On the first day, I checked her. I don't.
Opioid addiction gets between you and what you love. Once monthly Sublocade.
Is the verdict tomorrow or what's happening tomorrow?
The verdict is definitely tomorrow. And here's the thing. And in the sake of my radio followers and subscribers, I will be honest with you about the consequences and repercussions moving forward. Milagro spent a lot of money on whatever in the trial. She's broke. She said she lost the station head contract, $6,300. She's in the hole $10,000 before she even hired the attorneys that she got right now. Where she's getting all this money, she's broke. She needs all the support that she can get to build herself back up. So I will give you that, and I will tell you that. She's not going to come out and tell you guys that flat out because she got too much of a motherfucking ego. But I'm telling you, based on what was exposed in court under the penalty of perjury, the bitch is broke. However, Megan knows she's not going to get a dime from this. I believe Megan wants a ruling against her as if she's easy pickings to get an adjudicated fact to stop the bigger bloggers like DJ Academics, who's been running from depositions and who's been scared of all of this. And then on top of that, Milagro Grams is not Milagro Elizabeth Cooper. Mod Radio LLC is a business that pays Milagro Elizabeth Cooper if she pay herself. Megan Thee Stallion sued the wrong person. She can have a judgment for however many millions or whatever she want against Milagro. Milagro, she would never see a dime. Tasha K, Milagro go file bankruptcy. That's a personal judgment against her. That has nothing to do with her businesses. Do you understand what I'm saying? So there's not going to be, I don't believe there's going to be a financial constraint on Milagro Elizabeth, on Mod Radio or Milagro Grams, and or how she make her money online through those aliases in the LLC, because they was not named in court. I gave y'all that information. I gave her that information. She probably didn't know that, but now she know watching this, and now she can alleviate some stress and distress if she's found guilty. I'm just giving you guys the facts. Does that make sense to you?
You give us the facts, boom, 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 and then you come in with a bang.
And that's just me. Like that's literally just, I have nothing personal against Milagro. Milagro is a very beautiful girl. And
We need black men to stand with the black women.
That's what I'm saying. You saying stand with black. Megan Thee Stallion is a black woman too.
She not, it's a difference to not. It's a difference. Some women don't sleep their way to the top.
You can't do this. You can't do this.
I got to. She's a classist. She's a social climber. But the real that's coming up, you got to think about yourself, man. Think about yourself. You got haters on your back. You think they ain't watching this saying, "Oh, what can we use to put him in court? What can we do?"
Listen. First of all, if you know Denat and you do your research, I pity the fool for dragging me in court, bitch. Your money gonna have to be long as Rock Nations. Bitch, I would take you to the United Nations because I know how to appeal, and I'm not Tory Lanez. The appeals court is not the final destination for me and what I got to do. He got all the money, but where's the people with him advising him and telling him that you lost the appeal, but you also can you got 10 days to petition the Supreme Court, and then the Supreme Court shoot it down. Then you can go take this shit to the federal court. Like, you understand what I'm saying?
I do. I just want everybody to watch their back. They was building a case on this girl, and I think they set her up.
Listen to me.
I think they set her up with that deep fake. A fake page probably sent it in, and she released it.
Oh, so wait, that's an interesting theory. So you feel like the deep fake was released, and all these hundreds and thousands of people that flooded her chat were from Rock Nation in order for her.
Yes, bots. Yes. Wow. That's why I say it's deeper. They have access to this internet. Until they crack down, they started to crack down on the record labels doing that flaw stuff with the numbers. You think they can't go buy up a chat and throw it in, and Megan been texting saying, I want this girl gone. And she really just want to make Tory life hell for real. I mean, cause she pushing the gas on everything, or somebody behind her pushing the gas, because they said that the state dropped the case, but then her attorneys went back and reopened. I don't know how true that is, but if that happened,
Right.
that
Okay.
was the gas.
And I get that. And I get that. So here's the thing about the attorneys going in to reopen the case or whatnot. Even Milagro testified that some man touched her. Her grandmother advocated, and it convinced the police to do an investigation. And the man was later caught when he tried to touch on a young boy. And so her people advocate behind the scenes, whether it's Rock Nation or whoever, to get these cases open. Like even me, like one case that I did in the state of Florida, this state. You know, my sister got murdered and they tried to cover it over. So I started doing things to advocate and reopen that. And then, so you guys can do your research. I know a lot of law. My whole thing is, at the end of the day, that's a theory that you have. And I do feel like it's possible. But where's the evidence to prove that has come into this case?
One more. Wait, I know you.
I don't think so.
About the glass to being shot once Tory Lanez kept provoking her for about 3 weeks straight on the internet and in music videos. Like, come on, like, you can't do this shit to me. It's either you or you know somebody that went to the hospital and lied about the causation of their injuries. You know somebody who has got fucking foot stomped in them behind closed doors and they never fucking spoke up about it. You guys don't play with me. Don't play with me.
But you know what they don't do? Go run and make diss tracks.
Diss tracks. You talking about? I get what you're saying. I do. It's just this is so murky. Even Milagro.
It is. So how can you say Megan is boom bam bop?
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is Megan is boom bam bop in the court of law, and she's doing this. I understand.
So you saying she proving her point?
Yes, and she's doing this to control. Her next album should be called Her Story, not History, but Her Story, Her Story, because this lady. And there's a beauty in this, and you don't see it now because you're part of Stan culture, and it's another black woman. I get it.
I ain't need no Stan. I need facts. I can't go behind a person who has had a history of it's just inconsistent. Now that's murky. That's what you call murky right
That is
there. You
true.
know, I don't give a damn if Tory Lanez shot or not. Truth be told, I never gave a damn about the case. But the thing about it is, when it was time to speak up, just speak up about it. Y'all always say
Oh my
blame
gosh!
the victims.
Oh my gosh! Like, girl,
That girl did not. When it
she
first
spoke
came
up
out,
about
she
it.
should have
She spoke
have
about
propped that phone up.
She
Y'all,
spoke
this
about it within a
after
reasonable amount
it
of
wasn't
time.
reasonable. Not reasonable. Not to me. You
Like,
party, you at the
hold
club.
on, let's roll back. Let's roll back. So you don't mean to tell me that you had a situation to where a nigga you was dealing with, it wasn't
Just
dramatic.
like that lady kids that froze in the car.
No, hold on.
She came out the next day and
Hold
said,
on,
"What?
no.
Okay,
You can't tell me that you personally or don't know nobody directly that had a situation like a Cassie or anybody that got black and blue eyes and marks all over their bodies that didn't got from these niggas and be lying to everybody about how that shit happened. Tell me I'm lying.
okay." They could lie about it, but guess what? When they get if they get the making posts saying what he did, yada yada yada, I can't do nothing with that. Baby, you should have spoke up when we was at your house ready to be his A. That's what you should have did. So now that we gone, everybody chilling.
You fugazi. In the words of
No,
Malak, you
I
fugazi.
gotta be. Cause if you don't stand in the paint right in there, you ain't really on it.
You know what? And because you gaslighting the fuck out of me, I gotta ask you a question just to move on a little bit. Megan testified and said she believed and she knows. I feel like this. I feel like Megan and Milagro could actually have that female empowerment moment if they came together. I really feel like, and I feel like Megan is not opposed to that. If Milagro can be humble enough to do what she says she'll do, fall to her feet and apologize. I feel like Megan would sit down and do a fucking interview with Milagro. I do feel that way. I feel like that's what she wants without saying it, because it will give her control over her story. You understand what I'm saying? I don't feel like Megan wants to hurt her. Megan testified and said, I feel like Milagro know Tory shot me. She just dealing with her own personal issues and her personal shit that's letting her do this to me. That's the conversation Megan wants to have with Milagro, but Milagro too fucking dumb and too ignorant and too fucking impulsive and egotistical to realize that that's what that woman was saying to her. I think it'll be fucking epic and empowering if Milagro and Megan had a goddamn conversation. Don't you think so? It would be a lesson for the whole fucking internet to learn from.
Verdict tomorrow. You just make sure you live and ready. That's all I can say.
All right, I appreciate you for coming up. See, she dropped down. See, that's what's wrong with y'all. I just said a positive affirmation, a salute. You got an attitude towards that. Why the fuck can't we as black people, cannot agree and come to common grounds about some real ass shit? You see how quick she got up out of here when I said a solution? She done came up here and said, and no shade to you, I love you and I appreciate you. She done came up and said, I'm a mob hater, I'm biased, I'm paid for Rock Nation. But then when I said some shit that will end all of this chatter between the both of us and destroy the polarity